I get people ask me all the time about book recommendations. So I invited a friend of mine, Bishop, back to help me round out a list of recommendations for you. He's got his and I got mine. Let the recommendations begin. Let's go. Bishop, how are you this week?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. And yourself?
I'm doing great. You got a good list of books for us?
I do. I have 5 great titles of series. So I'm ready to go.
So I drive a lot and I do a lot of chores around the farm. I've taken a liking to audiobooks, and so my list today, I'm going to be covering a lot of audiobook series. Whereas I'd love to point out such books such as The Martian or Ready Player One. They're awesome single audiobooks, but this week I'm just going to be sticking to series. Since you're the guest, Bishop, do you want to go first?
No, you can go ahead. Go right ahead.
First up, and I'm not going in order of favorites, but my first one is Nina Wilde and Eddie Chase series by Andy McDermott. Most of the earlier books were read by Gilbert Jackson, and some of the books by Gareth Armstrong for a lot of the later books. They're on book 15. It's a fantasy action mythology kind of genre. Summary is Neen is an archaeologist and Eddie is an ex-SAS soldier. Each book takes you on a wild adventure through history, myth, akin to kind of like Indiana Jones. It has great villains, spy, and military action. Currently, I just found out today that it's being adapted for a feature film. Now, I couldn't be more excited because this is a great series, edge of your seat action. If you like military spy stuff, this is for you. If you like Indiana Jones archaeology stuff, this is for you. A lot of the books, I learned something every single time, but they touch on everything from the Tomb of Hercules to Excalibur, Atlantis. I mean, they really go all over the globe, and it is a fantastic series. Can't say enough about it. I can tell you I liked Gilbert Jackson as a narrator more than I like Gareth Armstrong. Nothing to Gareth, but when you start a series and you get used to one voice, that's the voice that you back in your head. So it was a fantastic book. If anybody's interested in any of these genres, even slightly, suggest at least picking up one, trying it out.
My first book series, I'm going to go with something that I just started reading, and I'm in like the 3rd book, but it's the John Wells series, and it's written by New York best-selling author Alex Bereson. In 2007-2006, this book was published, and in 2007, he won the Edgar Allan Award for Best First Novel. And that novel was The Faithful Spy. The book is published by Random House. If you're interested in the audiobooks, the series mostly is read by George Goodell, which I love. I love George Goodell. And a few of them are read by Robertson Dean. There's about 13 books in the series, but it's a spy action novel series. The John Wells character is an undercover CIA agent. In the first book, he is deeply, deeply undercover with the Taliban or Al Qaeda. In that, he's undercover for I think like 10 years. It gets to a point to where he's so deep undercover that the CIA doesn't trust him anymore. And so when they call him in to finish the job or stop some actions going forward, they have to decide if they want to keep him or let him go. And we all know what that means. They were going to try to kill him because they didn't know if he was too deep into his deep cover. Basically, the books so far are amazing. They're almost true to life. Very interested in seeing where the series goes. That's my first one.
It's kind of interesting that we both pick kind of action series to start out with.
I believe those are the best kind of books to read or listen to because they keep going.
That's true. Well, my next up is kind of a fun series for me. I happened upon it by accident. It's Alex Verus series by Benedict Jacka. It's read also by Gilbert Jackson, and that's how I stumbled across it. Was I really liked his reading, and so I was looking for what other books that he read, and I read the description, and I kind of got hooked. It's on book 10 now, and book 11 is coming out this fall. It's kind of a fantasy / magic genre. Alex is a mage with the ability of precognition. He's caught in the middle of a war between light and dark mages, wanting to exploit his talents. I don't know what it is about it that I enjoy so much. But something's catching me. I think the main character Alex is kind of caught in the middle of a difficult situation, and you kind of feel for him. So I think they did a real good character development. I probably listened to it 2 or 3 times each book. I definitely recommend it if you like fantasy kind of / magic in kind of a modern day society. So kind of like a Harry Potter wizard, Secret Wizards. Then this really is for you.
All right. My next book series would be the Sean Dillon series by Jack Higgins. So the book series is written for the English. Sean Dillon is an English IRA type. He was captured and put in prison, and one of the British commanders found him and said, "Hey, you can die here, or you can come and work for us, and we'll make your life better." It was a struggle for him at first, in the first couple of books, but he found this niche that, in order to stop evil, you must do some good. And he sees both sides of the story because he lived on the other side for so long, but he found in himself a greater threat to the world. So he reluctantly stayed on the British side and became a great British spy. And the book series itself runs about 15 books. He goes to America, he goes to Africa, he travels all over the world, but he's one of those suave, sophisticated that just takes everything as it comes. And it's a really entertaining book because like I said, it's an English book. So, it deals with the MI6 and the IRA, and it's just fun. The book is kind of fun because of how Sean Dillon looks at his situation and handles on both sides.
That sounds worth checking out. My next 3 are all superhero series. So many people know I'm a superhero nerd and comic nerd, and I am writing a book series as well. So this next one got me started in that direction. My first book is actually an audiobook, and it was inspired a little by this series. The series is called X Heroes by Clines. It's read by Jay Snyder, who is going to be the upcoming voice for Darkseid in the JLA Snyder cut. It was also Mark Boyette and Christine Hebam. Book 4 was only read by Snyder himself. And that's probably my only critique of the series is that if you're going to use multiple actors, and you really keep those actors for all the books, because you get a certain voice in your head, and that's who you expect to see. You can't change an actor midway through. Now I certainly realize some things happen, but that's just a pet peeve of mine. So the genre is a fantasy superhero post-apocalyptic. The summary is a plague of living death has spread across the globe. Zombies are everywhere. The remaining heroes have collected survivors and created a colony in some place they call the Mount, which is actually Paramount Studios in LA. Besides the zombie, evil lurks everywhere, and it's about them overcoming, the hazards that they're going to run into in a post-apocalypse. One of the characters in this book is kind of a female Batman kind of character, and that's kind of where I got a little bit of the idea for my book, because I'm writing a book called Eclipse, and it should be out on audiobook sometime soon. You can certainly go to my YouTube page and see the trailer. So I expect it to be out sometime in the next week or two at the very latest. But it was greatly inspired by this series. I enjoyed the series a lot. I haven't read anything about him doing another book. So far it's capped at 5 books. I really wish he would, because I think he has a good thing going, and I'd like to see it run its course. Great character development, great heroes. I really liked. It's the first audiobook that I came across where he used multiple book actors, and I really liked that format, and that inspired me as well. So I highly recommend it. They're reasonably short. The best way to catch it is on audiobook.
Nice. Sound good. I'm going to change mines up a little bit and walk away from the spy game and talk about a series that a lot of people are familiar with because of the movie. And the author of this book series is Anne Rice. And the book series I'm about to name is the Vampire Chronicles. And this is a very good book series. A lot of people don't know that this is a book series because they only went by the movie Interview with the Vampire, starring Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. Also, The Queen of the Dam, starring Aaliyah, the little songbird who died at an early age. Right after filming this movie, actually, she passed away. But those two movies are in a book series, and the book series is Vampire Chronicles, and there's about 15 books spanning from 1976 to 2018. So that's a long book series, and I've read just about all of them. If not all of them. I think I read all of them. I don't think I read the last two, and I think the one was in 2016 and 2018. I think the last one I read was Prince Lestat. But in this book series, it follows the vampire Lestat, who is not an original vampire. He was bitten as a young man, so it follows his chronicles of his being a vampire, and it opens up a whole world of things in the dark. And I think it inspired a lot of different movies and books also. But the world of vampires, if you go by what Anne Rice is saying, is quite different than what you would look at when you think of Dracula. And this entire book series opens up a world of poor people, rich people, ancient beings, demons. It goes into how they feel, why they feel how they feel, the power of struggle between the good vampires and the bad vampires. And though we might think that they're all bad because, they hunt down humans and drink humans' bloods, that's not really exactly what they do. And she tells a great story in almost all of these books. You can follow the storyline very well. You love vampire hunting and vampire in just that world, that underworld. This book series is very, very nice to follow.
Question: How much does the movie follow the book?
It does not really. Right. It's almost like a different story.
I found that as well in like the movie The Martian, and also Ready Player One. I really like the books, but the movies left me kind of. It was okay.
And that's how I am. Once I find out that there's a book of a movie that's coming out, I try to go and download the book before I go see the movie.
Oh, I never do. Why would you ruin a good movie? I try to enjoy the movie, and then if I want more, then I'll go check out the book.
Yeah, well, we differ because I want to see how much different the movie is from the book, so I can sit there and tell the person I'm with, hey, they didn't do that in the book.
Well, that sounds like a real long series to follow. When did you first pick it up?
I first picked that up in I think like 2002, driving long haul, and just popping those 8 boxes of tapes. It was like almost like 50 different tapes. It's like 10 tapes in a box, So they just kept me, kept me on the road driving. You take your mind off the traffic and everything with these audio books on tape. So they were a great And then when you find a great series that you can follow too, the hours just go by and the driving just go by.
Yeah,
So
I use audiobooks when I'm driving because I do put on a lot of miles. But I use it chores around the house, outside chores, cleaning the chicken coop, anything that I would rather be doing something else. It's kind of fun to listen, and you can just kind of just go through the motions, and even doing dishes, and it doesn't, it I don't mind it so much
right
because I'm
before
being
you know it,
entertained while I'm
you're
doing
at your
it.
before you know it, you're at your destination, and when you get your destination, you sit in the car for about 5 more minutes to catch what's happening right there in that scene before you let yourself say, okay, I got to go in the house or I got to go to
Yep.
work now.
You know it.
Yeah.
Next one on my list is a guilty pleasure. I stumbled across this by accident just because I was looking for superhero stuff on audiobook, and it was the DList Supervillain series by Jim Bernheimer. It's read by Jeffrey Kafer, and is an action superhero series. There's been about 4 or 5 books, I think. The summary basically is Cal Stringle climbs from villain to hero to vigilante. He's angry that he wouldn't be known as an engineer that made ultra weapons force blasters. Cal resigns to chase a bigger, better paycheck. However, the company Promethea Corporation isn't going to let him go that easily and sets out to make his life a living hell. Fed up, he is being pushed around by the company with an endless supply of lawyers and litigation. Cal sets to build his own version of ultra weapons powered armor and take his revenge. So, okay, so this is the first story starts out where there's a mind control bug that takes over everything, and he is like the last person, and so he kind of saves society. So he goes from D-list villain to kind of a superhero, and then tries to redeem himself. He doesn't really like it because then there's all these rules of being a hero. So then he tries to be a vigilante. It really is kind of a great story. It's a fun story. It's not especially long. So I would highly recommend it. If you really love the first book, then continue with the series. But this is one of the series I follow, and I'm always looking for the next.
Nice. Okay. Very interested. Very interested. Okay. My next up is Alex Cross, is the book series that first come to your mind for most people when you say James Patterson. And, Alex Cross was the book series that turned into a few movies done by Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Well, Alex Cross and James Patterson, they have a buddy on the side that nobody knows about, and his name is Michael Bennett. And there's a Michael Bennett book series. And Michael Bennett is a small but wonderful, wonderful detective novel that James Patterson has created on the side of Alex Cross. Why we don't hear more about Michael Bennett, I have no idea. But Michael Bennett book series is a great book series. And there's about 8 books in this series with Michael Bennett. Just to give you a little information about Michael Bennett, published by Brown Little. Every book that has came out has made the #1 bestseller. And he's been doing Michael Bennett for 25 years. And he's an Irish-American New York City detective. And he goes around solving terrible, terrible crimes. And the thing about Michael Bennett, he has 10 children. Yes, wow. He has 10 adopted children that him and his wife adopted before she passed away. So you have a New York detective who has 10 adopted kids living at his home, and his wife has passed away. So he's trying to juggle his career as being a detective and a an adopted father of 10 kids. They're all different types of kids because his wife loved kids, and they adopted these kids. And so he's juggling the police detective, being the best police detective in New York, and being trying to be a good Catholic father to all these different genre of kids that he have at home. Does solve some of the worst crimes that are happening in New York. He goes from serial killers to assassins. At one point in one of the books, he had to move his family out of New York. They go into witness protection. He is really trying to keep his family together of these 10 kids and be the best detective because that's his livelihood. And it's just a great series that no one knows about. And
how many books are in the series?
There's about 8 to 9 books in the series, I believe.
I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, how come they didn't make a movie about him?
Exactly.
It sounds like you like him more than you like Alex.
Maybe because it has too many kids.
They can afford that many child actors.
You can't cast that many kids, right?
All right, my final one, and yet another guilty pleasure, another superhero story. It's called Superpowers by Drew Hayes. It's read by Kyle McCarley. There's 5 books in the series, and I think it's pretty much all wrapped up just last year. It's an action superhero story. The summary is Lander University is home for the Hero Certification Program, a curriculum designed to develop students with superhuman capabilities, commonly known as supers, to official heroes. 5 of this year's freshmen are extra special. They have a secret aside from their abilities, one that they must guard even from their classmates. This is a great series with very complex characters, with all good, deep backgrounds. Drew Hayes does a good job of making a deep story that has depth to it. From every character has a deep background that affects their life while they're going to school at this college, and it is I really like how he spends time on the powers that people have and what they can do, and so it's definitely well thought out. This series made me a regular follower of Drew Hayes. I have checked out some of his other books. So if you if you like superheroes, you like action, that kind of stuff, I would definitely check this one out. All books are very long. The last one, audiobook, is like 60 hours, so you're definitely getting your money's worth. But I would definitely check this one out. Now, of the 3 superhero books series that I've recommended to you, I would say bar none, X Heroes, the first book, is probably my favorite. I'd probably say that series is my favorite, but these other 2 are just a short. I mean, they're only a little bit behind it. So I'm doing an audiobook superhero story now, and I'm gonna have an actual graphic novel later this year, and then at some point I'm gonna cross the 2 tales because they operate in the same universe, and have one side of the story done on audio and the other side done in graphic novel, and I think it's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun.
Nice, very nice. Okay, all right. Well, my last book is dun 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 dun. Everybody's favorite spy, Mitch Rapp, by Vincent Flynn or Vince Flynn, and this is a tremendous book series. Vince Flynn, for those who don't know, is an American author. He passed away in 2013 of prostate cancer. And for me, because I am a big fan of this Mitch Rapp series, when I heard about that, I was quite saddened that the guy had passed away. When you think about these authors, you always look forward to their work. So, it was like, wow, no more Mitch Rapp, but then they came out after he passed away, and they gave it to Callie Mills, who finished or did about 4 more books of the Mitch Rapp series. So Mr. Flynn had passed away in 2013, and it was kind of sad. But the books did live on. The publisher kept the books going, and they did very well. I still enjoy the book series. For those who are fans of the series, then you know that the movie that came out in, I believe it was 2018, American Assassin, that starred young kid and Michael Keaton. He
Yep.
he was in that American Assassin as the old fart sergeant who does all the training. And that movie is based off the book series Mitch Rapp by Vince Flynn. Now, Mitch Rapp is a CIA operative who started his career because his girlfriend was killed by terrorists. I believe the plane that she was on, I think it was the Pan Am Flight 103. That plane was bombed and went down. He was a lacrosse player at Syracuse, and after his girlfriend died, who he was planning on marrying, he kind of went into a depression, and they found him, and they gave him these tests that, hey, this guy we could use his anger and his fuel as a CIA operative to get in there and do some damage to the terrorists. And that's what they did. And they trained him to be an American assassin. This book series is great. It follows him going from that college student to the best and baddest assassin the CIA has ever made. He does everything that a agent should be doing. He gets the girl. Don't want to have any spoilers in this, but in the series, he loses a lot of people in his life. He has a brother who turns out to be this millionaire hedge fund guy. So, Rapp never has a problem with like having money or anything, even though, he's a CIA operative. He just, everything just for this guy falls in place. I mean, he gets hurt, he gets shot up, but he gets through it, and it covers his career and how he gets through things and wields his sword of justice for the CIA. The book series is great. I highly recommend it. It's in my top 3 book series from this list. The list that I did today, the John Wells, the Jack Higgins, the Vampire Chronicles, Michael Bennett, Mitch Rapp is the reason why I saved him for last. Mitch Rapp is the best from, like I say, he's in my top 3 in the book series. So if anybody is looking for a great CIA spy novel, this is the one to go with.
Well, on my list, like I said, I would definitely go with X Heroes for your guilty pleasure. But the Nina Wilde, Eddie Chase, if you want a series spy Indiana Jones thriller, I would definitely put that up there. And it sounds like we're pretty close on some of what we like. So
your comic books, I mean, the books that those superheroes. I like my superheroes in movies. I like my the way that they make movies nowadays. I like to watch my superheroes on the movie screen.
Well, a TV screen too. The Boys is coming out here in another month. So
and the TV screen.
But I'm glad that they're doing a lot of series on like Netflix and Amazon, and where they're doing these short run series rather than network TV series, because it always seems like they put a little bit more care and attention into. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with some of the Marvel TV series that are coming out. I think those are going to be kind of fun, and also the Star Wars series, where you can go a little bit longer than a movie, because you really got to condense a lot down into a movie. Right. So I like the idea in a series, as long as they make it movie-esque. If they kind of make it kind of a B flick, I don't know if I'm too interested in that. So it sounds like there's definitely a lot of books out there. We both recommended 5 of some of our favorite series. Do you prefer reading or do you prefer audio more?
In the car or when I'm going to bed, I'm listening to audio. When I'm at the beach, enjoying a cigar. When I'm at the cigar lounge or at the cigar club, I'm reading. So it just depends on what I'm doing leisurely. I do them both. I do them both.
I do enough reading during the day for work. I really don't want to read, but I don't mind listening. So what I do is I use the listening for entertainment, and I just get anymore. I used to read so many business books and executive books and books on how to build this, and I got so tired and burned out on it. That's almost easier just to watch a YouTube on how to build something or how to do something. And I like to get my entertainment by a YouTube or a audiobook. And I usually try to stick to the things that I find entertaining. And I like spy thrillers mostly, and I like I like fantasy sci-fi. With that, but I would certainly like to thank everybody for showing up. I hope this is helpful. I certainly hope everybody checks it out. I'm putting a summary here of what we discussed so that you can see it. That way, if you forget or didn't write it down, you can just fast forward to the end and see the list. And then you can go to Audible or to a bookstore and check it out and check these series and see if it might be for you. Again, if you like this video, like, subscribe, share it around. If you'd like more of this content, please let Bishop and I know, because we are going to probably do our next one on movies. So we did TV shows, we did and now we're going to do some movies recommendations. So hopefully we'll see you next week. Thank you very much, and have a nice weekend.